Clippers? Well, Friday's game is in Dallas, where they won both games 3 and 4 last weekend. It has proved very important to be the road team in this series. So, Shannon, who wins Game 6?
Skip, remember what happened in Game 1 when Devin Booker outscored AD and LeBron and then had only three fewer shot attempts? Same thing happened last night. Luka basically stalled them out. He had 42, they had 43, but he had more shot attempts than both of them combined. That can't happen. I was thinking, Skip, maybe it's because if you think about what's in Dallas? A packed house. What's in L.A.? Not a packed house.
Yeah, they said there were going to be 6,000, then they said there were 7,000. I tweeted about this right before the game because they don't have a home court advantage.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And maybe it's easier for the Mavericks to play in that situation. We saw a lot of guys do ungodly things in the bubble, and when they got in front of crowds, they hadn't been able to do that again.
Agreed.
So is it the Mavericks like playing in a half full or a quarter full house,
maybe,
as opposed to a Ronkers? Because if you look at the way Hardaway, look at the way they shot the ball in this situation, and you in Staples, and look at when they went home, it's night and day. But it's hard for me to believe the Clippers are going to play worse than what they played last night. I'm going to take the Clippers to win.
You are?
Yeah, I believe it's going to go 7 games. Skip.
Really?
I believe the Dallas Mavericks are going to have to win this thing back on the road. We haven't seen a series like this, I think San Antonio, Houston, where the 5 games, the road teams have won all 5 games, Skip. And then finally the home team, they went back to Houston, and Houston ended it. Skip, it's just hard for me to believe. And look, the Clippers been choking. They've been gagged. They gagged last year, and they're choking right before.
Choking and gagging.
But Skip, I don't believe they'll do it again. I'm gonna say the Clippers win. I'm gonna say the Clippers win a close one. But I just want somebody to tell me what they're gonna get that $16 million paperweight, Luke Kennard. Because that's what he is, $16 million paperweight. He played 1 game. All the rest been DMPs, and that was the blowout in Game 4. Other than that, he can't even get on the floor. But you told me you like Luke Kennard. He can shoot the 3. He can shoot it.
I told you they are the deepest team in professional basketball, but they're too deep for the playoffs because you know and I know the rotation starts to shrink in playoffs.
Yes.
Because Ty Lue is coaching for his life right now, and he's going smaller and smaller rotations. Remember, they don't even have Ibaka. He would be getting some minutes. But when you get down the end of the bench, Patrick Patterson and Kennard, they're pretty good players,
Boogie.
Regular season, and Boogie. But I want to see Boogie get some minutes, but he doesn't get any minutes. They haven't seen the light of play. Okay, so I'm actually surprised that your roller coaster is rolling and rolling, and now you're back on the Clippers to win a game at Dallas that would force a Game 7 back at Staples. Okay, I'm going to remind everyone, to your point about the 5-game series, never in the history of the NBA has there been a 7-game series in the playoffs in which the road team has won every game. Is this possible? Yes, it's possible.
Yeah.
I will not be surprised, to your point, if the Clippers win Game 6 on Friday night in Dallas. But this is just me, the emotion of the moment. Maybe I'm a prisoner of my own emotions. I'm going to root against them in Game 6.
How you going to root against your own interest?
Because I'm sick and tired of watching them. Last night took so much out of me that I can't take it again. I don't want a Game 7 back at Staples because it's too excruciating.
Yeah.
I'm not exaggerating. It tore me apart last night. I tried to watch with Ernestine, and I thought she was jinxing me, and then I went back in my TV room, and I tried to be out in the living room for a while. Nothing worked. It just got worse and worse.
What about the robe? Pull the robe out.
Yeah, the robe.
But the robe is a Laker robe, right? So I can jinx the Lakers if I'm a Clipper supporter, but I think it would only jinx the Clippers. Because remember, I accidentally wore the robe, inadvertently, not even thinking, for Game 1 at Staples, and they stunk. They lost by 10. So the other thing is that there's never been a 7-game series, except one. There's never been a 7-game series in which one team has been favored every game and lost the series.
Right.
Well, there's been one other one. Guess what it was? It was in the bubble last year. It was these guys. This is the only other time.
Yeah.
Against Denver. They were favored by considerable.
Right.
They were always, I told you, 7 or 8 point favorites against Denver. And you know what happened? They're up 19 in the first closeout game 5. And then they're up 14 in game 6. And then they're up 12 in game 7. And they can't close any of those 3 deals. And I thought, give me playoff Rondo. At least they could have closed one of those.
Again, Skip, what happened? Clutch time.
Yep.
You said clutch the last 5 minutes of the game, 1 or 2 possessions, 1 or 2 points, one way or the other. What happened? Turnover, Paul George, turnover. Kawhi, turnover. Rondo,
turnover. They all had huge, excruciating turnovers late in those games.
Make them put a man to a test, Skip. You won't really know what a man can do until you put him under fire.
Okay? So, to me, I really want them to go away and leave me alone. So I'm going to root against them in Game 6, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm not just saying this for TV purposes. I can't take them anymore because they're better than this. They don't deserve to win Game 6 and get a Game 7.
You can't have 2 LA teams out. How does Staples Center go play them Bills, man? We need somebody.
You know what? That is true. Because all I wanted for Christmas this year was give me the Lakers and the Clippers in the conference final. You know, that's all I need. Just give me that, because that would be theater.
Right.
Maybe it's just L.A. theater, but I think the NBA world would be into that.
Of course.
The 2 L.A. teams.
Yeah.
Okay, so what have we seen in Dallas? Well, we've seen the visiting team play with an urgency, like a desperate urgency and fire.
Right.
And actually a little bit of anger that Luke is showboating on them. Luke is giggling. He's Mr. Giggles. You know, he's laughing. He's pointing. He's saying, you're too little, or not in my house, right? And yet you look at Luka, and in the fourth quarters of those games, he was no good in the fourth quarter last night, and he wasn't very good in the fourth quarters of those 2 games in Dallas. So they're on a platter for you to win. And I do think the Mavericks start feeling a little more pressure at home. Remember what Ty Lue said after Game 2? Can they make those shots under pressure at home? And we're like, well, that's the reverse. Usually you should be able to make them with your crowd fueling you at home. Well, again, I don't think they can do it. I don't want them to do it. So I'm going to say that the Clippers are defunct after Friday night.
I mean, but they're going to have to do something with Luka, Skip. I mean, you got to slow. Skip, you can't let the man get 39, 42, 35, have these high assist nights and expect to win the ball game. You can't. And, if Paul George and Kawhi do what they did in games 3 and 4, but it seems like to me they inserted Boban to try to deter some of that at getting to the rim.
Did. That's exactly what they did. They said, we're going to go not big, we're going to go giant.
Ginormous.
Right?
You go 7-3, you go 7-4. So Boban, because Skip, he held his hands up a couple of times last night and forced some missed shots. He wasn't even close to blocking it. It's just the fact that they knew he was there.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe Ty Lue should have gone to John Wick in his starting lineup, right? Because John Wick could take care of Boban.
Big Boban.
I've seen that.
Man, y'all be doing Boban wrong. Y'all be hitting Boban all in the face and smacking him on the hands. Skip, they call fouls on him. They call the foul, man.
He elbowed Terrence Mann right in the kisser. You know, he just rocked it.
First of all, Skip, all the man did was turn around. He can't have it that Terrence Mann face is right at his elbow level.
Well, even Grant Hill said, hey, that's a flagrant. I'm thinking, yeah, that's a flagrant. Nope. Common foul.
Common foul.
Because they love Boban, because he's a sweetheart.
I mean, they call a common foul when Draymond hit 2-hand shiver to the face, and then I see Colin Stein foul on Friday night, and they call a flagrant. You saw that?
Yeah. So here we go again. Clippers are favored by 3 at Dallas. Right on schedule, because the odds makers keep saying they're our champions. They are better than the Dallas Mavericks. Well, they are. But do they play better than Dallas Mavericks?
Nope.
Not at home.
No.
So please don't get back to a Game 7. Don't put me through that again, because it would just be a replay of Games 1, 2, and 3.
I can't believe you're saying
it, and I know it.
I can't believe you're saying you're done with the Clippers. You're moving on.
He ain't done.
I'm done.
You're blaming Ernestine for sitting in